Hello, my name is Tara Springlet. I'm a Buddhist teacher and a psychotherapist, and I have specialized to work with people who suffer from Kundalini syndrome. Today I would like to talk generally about energy problems. So, in principle, what we should do in the Kundalini process is to accumulate as much energy as possible in order to use that for our spiritual growth. So that's the whole purpose of the Kundalini awakening. While we're trying to accumulate this energy, it can come to some problems because it stirs up all our unresolved issues. And these unresolved issues we feel as the so-called energy problems. And so the point here is that we need to learn to train ourselves to accumulate more and more energy within ourselves while staying outwardly serene, and also learning to dissolve and resolve all the negative emotions or problems that are stirred up in this process. Now, when it comes to the so-called energy problems, so energy blocks or energy gets stuck in some place in the neck or in the shoulder, or a pain here, there's blocked energy there. Many of us have a tendency to perceive the Kundalini energy as in some sort of system, like tubes, and where the energy flows and then it kind of gets blocked, as if it is a very materialistic point of view or kind of view, and that is to be avoided. So when we look at what energy really is, also in the physical world, in the normal materialistic world of physics, energy doesn't exist in itself, but it is a form of friction, of opposing forces. So when I rub my hands, I can feel the energy between them. I can feel some heat and some tingling and so forth. That has been created through this process of friction. And this friction is also the cause of our own energy that we feel in our mind and in our body during the Kundalini process. And if this energy gets stuck, then what actually is happening is that we have some conflicting impulses in us. One part of us wants this and the other part wants that, and those two different impulses they create friction, and this friction is then felt as energy. So another way of saying that the energy that we feel in our energy system, in our emotional body, are our emotions. So I always say to people, there is no such thing as energy, Kundalini energy. All these energies have a name, just like in physics. We hear about warmth and microwaves and electricity. So all these energies have different names. The different energies in our mind are called anger, happiness, anxiety. So really, there are our emotions. But we are not trained to see our emotions when they arise in the Kundalini process, so then we perceive them as some energy block, and that's an important part of my role when I work with people in sessions, that I help them to recognize what they perceive as some weird energy or energy block, that is actually an emotion, and behind the emotion is a conflict, an inner conflict. Shall I be angry and take revenge, or shall I try to be forgiving and loving and pull back from that conflict? That would be a typical conflict. Shall I try harder, or shall I relax more and surrender? I mean, there's numerous conflicts, and the quintessential conflict that we all have is between power and love. And so, shall I exert my power, or shall I be very loving? And these conflicts cannot just easily be resolved. Every situation has to be looked at in detail by itself in order to find the right balance between how, in a way, powerfully should I assert myself, or how much should I respond to that situation with love and kindness and forgiveness and so forth. And so coming back to what we perceive as energy blocks in in our body, it is certainly true that what we perceive is going on in our body is really feels like an energy. There's an energy coming up like this, or an energy that's kind of pushing against these bones and building some sort of resistance there, and are dammed up here or in the neck or in other places. That is certainly true, that we do perceive it that way, but it is important to understand that that's not really the truth. That's not what this is. We need to learn to see these energy blocks as some sort of tension, energy, or we tense up in some way, and what is tensing up is actually, when we look deeply into this, is our emotions, and behind our emotions are attitudes. And when we learn to see and interpret our energy blocks in this way, then they become meaningful, and they don't become so confusing, and I just think, why do I have this block here in my heart chakra or in my stomach chakra and so forth. We start understanding what conflict is actually causing this, and then finding a good solution for this conflict. Now, this is not just a theory. I have worked with hundreds of people in this way and had really, really good results. So this approach can really be used, and it brings, I have proof that it works. And so often what people do, let's say they have a pain here in the heart and they think there's a block. Okay, if you have this materialistic view of like having some sort of plumbing system in the body, then you will think, okay, let's bring some sort of utensil and get rid of that block, push it away or pull it away. And when we start thinking and feeling in that way, about our energy problems, then we just really making things worse. This can never lead to the solution, because we're completely missing the point, what we're actually dealing with. So I very much advise against any kind of attempt to push and pull and the energy, but really go the other way that I've already described. Go into that feeling and ask yourself, what emotion am I actually dealing with here? Is this most like anger, sadness, anxiety? Then ask yourself, to which situation does this emotion apply? Why do I have this emotion? And then you can use some technique with like loving kindness to resolve that problem and find a better solution for whatever is bothering you there. So that's in principle how we work with energy problems, and if you learn to do it that way, you will never ever have to suffer from prolonged pain in various parts of your body, but will be free of these problems very soon. I hope you liked this video, and if you liked it, please give me a thumb up or leave a comment. Here's a link to my book about Kundalini. You can learn a lot more about it, and up here there is a link where you can subscribe to my channel. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.